It's a bit chillier today, isn't it? Lost that bit of spring sunshine. All right, guys, we're going to start lying down today. So if you want to come to lie down, I'm going to stay seated just in case anyone arrives a little bit late. And I'll just tell you what we're going to be kind of focusing on today. But if you want to get yourself comfortable, you can have a nice little stretch. You can bring your knees in towards your chest for a minute. Oh, there's someone else. You can have a little move about. And then you can just bring yourself, hi Sam, we just started lying down. Bring yourself to a comfortable position. So we're just going to start on our backs. You can pop something underneath the back of your head. You can keep your feet on the floor or the legs outstretched. And I started thinking about words this week after, I love words. And I read a really interesting article about words by Susie Dent. She's from Countdown. You might recognize her. And she's an etymologist. So she studies the history of words, the roots of words. And she wrote a lovely article. And I've got a couple of words there that I thought we'd try and infuse our practice with, thanks to Susie this morning. So she started off her article with a lovely quote from George Bernard Shaw, who wrote, "A lifetime of happiness, no man alive could bear it. It will be hell on earth." From our current perspective, even a little bit of happiness might be nice, an inkling that there were brighter days ahead. But with those words, George Bernard Shaw was simply voicing the familiar truth that life will always, to use a 16th century adjective, be merry-go-sorry, shifting between light and dark. A rifle through a historical English dictionary suggests that the sorry bits have always had the edge, linguistically at least, and that happiness is a much rarer commodity. English is abstemious with its compliments and yet delivers insults with panache. That's maybe something to do with our national character, I don't know. And yet, if you look hard enough beyond the frowns, you can still find sparkle in the corners of the dictionary. There are expressions to be had of positivity, of joy for others, and of happiness in the moment. Over the next few months, for example, we can hope to delight in respair, the unsung enemy of despair, and which in the 16th century at least meant fresh hope and a recovery from despondency. Other positive words from a precious collection include recipiscence, the return to a better state of mind. So I thought those two words we would try and return to when we're feeling perhaps a little bit blue, a little bit down. So a lovely practice today to open up across the heart, open up some space and let ourselves be filled with respair, a recovery of fresh hope, a recovery from despondency, and recipience. Hopefully in the next few weeks, being able to return to a better state of mind. So as we begin our practice this morning, just lying down, and you've maybe done so already, begin to tune in to the pace and rhythm of your breath. And every time we come to the mat, we face something different energetically. So just see how you feel this morning. You've got a beams raring to go, or maybe feeling a little bit flat. You need a little bit of respair in your life. And physically, just being mindful of what you're working with, as ever, and setting that intention to work within the limits that the body sets for us, which will be different every time we practice. But also that emotional barometer, which I guess for many of us, myself included, has been up and down, round and about over this last year. Goodness me, a year. Now's the time not to look back. Now is the time to look forward, recipience and respair. So let's let those feelings suffuse our practice today, feelings of positivity as we begin to open up the body this morning. And we'll start nice and simply. So if your legs are outstretched over the next couple of breaths, just bring your feet back in towards you. Your heels are on the floor. We'll walk the feet nice and wide and just allow your inner knees to rest against each other. So you made a nice inverted V shape. You might need to just pick up your hips and move your pelvis slightly. And then we're going to take the arms up level with the shoulders, making a nice open space there. Just take a moment there, reaching the arms in opposite directions, opening up through the chest. Make a nice stretch. Let's take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, let's bring the fingertips to opposite shoulders. You're wrapping the arms in front of the chest, giving yourself a big hug. Notice which arm is on top. And just take a couple of breaths there. And every time you exhale, let the back body sink a little deeper into the mat. And every time you inhale, see if you can press the area between your shoulder blades down into the floor a little bit deeper. So just opening up some space across that area between the shoulder blades. Let's take one more big deep breath in, pressing the back of the shoulders down. And exhale, letting everything settle. Let's take the arms out nice and wide, noticing which arm was on top. Open up through the arms, reach the fingertips apart, take a nice inhale. And this time as you exhale, upper arm is on top. Might feel a little bit weird. We are creatures of habit. And again, as you inhale, really try and press that area between your shoulder blades down into the mat. And every time you exhale, see if you can sink. So do that a couple of times, just a couple of breaths there. A little bit of movement in the back body, shifting the focus. We normally focus on the front body as we breathe. Let's take one more. Inhale there. And exhale. So we're going to move that with the breath now, alternating arms every time. So inhaling, arms open nice and wide, that nice T shape. Exhale, one arm wraps on top. Give yourself that nice big hug. Little stretch across the upper back there. And then when you're ready to breathe in, arms come out nice and wide, palms up towards the ceiling. Other arm wrapping on top as you exhale. See if you can almost slide the fingertips towards the shoulder blades a little bit, maybe coming underneath the body. Let's do a couple more each way. So depending on how tight your shoulders and your chest are, arms might come almost around the sides of the body. Sometimes they might just rest on the shoulders. Let's do one more with each arm alternating sides so we balance things out. Wrapping as you exhale. Inhaling, opening up through the chest. Last time, wrapping as you exhale. And this time we'll keep the arms out nice and wide, that lovely letter T shape, shifting the fingertips apart. And all we'll do now is just separate the knees, point the knees up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's tip both knees over to the right side. Maybe drop your chin down towards your left shoulder. Lovely. We'll pause there for a couple of breaths. And again, we'll start then to flow with the breath. So relaxing the right buttock, trying to drop a little bit of weight into that left shoulder blade and pressing the thumb edge of your hand down into the floor, opening up across the chest. Lovely. When you're ready to breathe in, everything comes back to center. And then breathing out, we simply roll across the heels to the opposite way, dropping the knees to the left, relaxing the left buttock. Chin can drop down to the right shoulder if you like. So this time we're pressing the right shoulder blade down toward the floor. Don't worry if it's popped up a little bit. We'll all move very differently there. Lovely. And then again, we'll move with the breath. So getting ready to inhale back to center. Exhaling over to the right, chin to the left if you wish. And then just roll with the breath now. And as you do so, just be aware of maybe any asymmetries within the body this morning. Maybe you notice, like I am, that one hip feels a little tighter than the other. It might be as we're sitting down at our desks, perhaps more so than often, we're crossing one leg over the other and sitting like that for longer. So let's do one more to the right and one more to the left. And then come all the way back up to center. Now pause and consider your hips. So we're all going to move perhaps in a different way now. And take your knees over to the side that felt the tightest, where you felt the most resistance. So I'm going to take mine over to the left because my right hip feels a little tighter. Lovely. So that side, if both sides felt the same, your choice, left or right, really doesn't matter. So allowing the knees to drop down and try and breathe into the area of resistance. So I can feel that right at the top of my right hip. And if you want to add a little bit, you can pick up your underneath foot. So the foot that's kind of on the bottom there, and bring it to rest on your top knee. So if your knees are dropped to the left, it's your left foot on your right knee. And if your knees are dropped to the right, it's your right foot on your left knee. Lovely. So just relaxing both knees down. Again, just one more breath, just breathing into that, just a little tight spot of resistance. And then we'll unhook the foot, come all the way back to center, walking the feet hip width apart now, extending one leg and then the other, and reaching both arms all the way back into that beautiful full body axial extension. Think about the space you're creating through the spine there as you breathe in, reaching back through the fingertips, point the toes. And as you exhale, give that right knee a little hug. So moving the spine through lots of directions on the floor here. Inhale, opening up, arms and legs extending. Exhale, left knee, give a little squeeze. You're getting a nice stretch out through the muscles of the lower back. And then continue with the breath. Inhale to open, full body stretch. Exhale, knee to chest. And if you want to start bringing your nose towards your knee, lifting head and shoulders, feel free. Head and shoulders come back down as you inhale. And then exhaling, changing sides. So if you want to keep your head on the floor this morning, that's fine. If you're lifting your head and shoulders, just making sure that you've got a nice long neck, shoulders are away from ears, chin coming down to chest. Lovely. So we're going to end with the left knee coming in, and then we'll all meet in that full body stretch. So when you've released the left leg the last time, coming back into that full body stretch. A little bit of lateral movement now. So you're going to take your right leg out to the right, so it might come off your mat. And then bring your left leg over to join it. So you made a little C curve through the lower body. And I will shift the upper body over to the right. So you shape like a little banana there. You can catch hold of your left wrist with your right hand and just draw it over to the right if you want to increase that stretch. But try and press your left buttock down into the floor. Make sure you've not rolled onto your right bottom there. And if you want even more, you can just simply cross your left ankle and place it on top of your right ankle. And really take a couple of nice deep breaths into where you feel that space that you've created. I can feel a lovely stretch there through the left side of the body. So using that stretch to open up some space in the hip. Again, if we've been sitting down a lot, it gets a little bit compressed. Beautiful, nice lateral movement through the spine. Let's uncross everything. Come back to center, pause there for a moment. Stretching out arms and legs in that full body stretch, balancing things out. And then we'll take left leg out to the left. Right leg comes across to join it. Shift the upper body over to the left. So you kind of pick up your upper body, move it over. So you made that little banana shape. You might catch hold of right wrist, gently tugging it over to the left. And if you want more, you can just pick up your right ankle, your right foot, and just rest it on top of left ankle. And then again, just make sure that you're trying to keep the weight relatively even across the back of your pelvis there. So the temptation is we kind of roll onto the left side of the body. And so we want to try and press that right side down and then really open up with the breath there. A couple of breaths. Oh, that feels nice this morning. Lovely. And then coming all the way back through center, arms and legs on the middle of the mat, coming back to that full body stretch. Beautiful. You can maybe arch your back a little bit, maybe reach into one side and then the other, have a little bit of a wiggle there. And then we'll bring the arms down alongside you, keeping the palms spread nice and wide, and bring the heels towards you. Last one on the floor, feet and knees hip width apart. Again, you might need to adjust your pelvis a little bit. Coming into a bridge flow, so a little bit of strength now. We've stretched, now let's strengthen. So as you inhale, reach both arms all the way back behind you. They can come out in a nice wide V if your upper arms don't want to stay by your ears. And as you exhale and bring the arms down, push the hips up. Pressing into the base of the big toe. Lovely. Inhale, lower the hips, reach the arms back, spreading the fingers nice and wide. And then exhale, press into the feet, arms lower, hips lift. Lovely. Let's do that a couple more times. So you might be coming up just into a little baby shoulder bridge today, just lifting the hips a little way. Some of you might be lifting up so your tailbone is roughly level with the backs of the knees. Let's do that one more. So inhale to lower the hips, reach the arms back. And this time as you exhale and push the hips up, bring the hands down alongside you and just pause, squeezing the bottom, just pressing into the base of the big toe. Option to slide the shoulder blades underneath you so you can interlace your hands. And press down into everything that's touching the earth. So the feet might be the outer edges of your hands, the blades of little fingers. Bringing your chest up towards your chin. Lovely. Let's take one more breath, coming down whenever you need to. And then coming up onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels so you can bring the arms up alongside you. You can keep the heels lifted if you wish, rippling your way down. Slowly, slowly release. And just let everything settle. Heels to floor, hips to floor. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest, one at a time, one hand on each knee. Have a little roll or a circle there with the knees, just releasing any built up tension that might be lingering around the back and the tops of the buttocks. Yogi's choice to come over to seated. You can roll to one side or hook the ankles, hold behind your knees, and just have a little playful roll up and down if you wish. Before we come up to seated, propping something underneath your bottom if you need to. And if sitting cross-legged is comfortable for you, right leg in front of left. Crossing, if you can, mid-shin. If that's a little bit too much, you can always just have one foot in front of the other. Remember, you can always just stretch the legs out in front of you. If cross-legged doesn't work for you today. So sitting up nice and tall. Let's reach both arms up. Just finding a little bit of space through the sides of the body. Exhale, let's bring the hands all the way down to the heart, beginning to press the palms together, opening up through the chest. And again, all the way up. Lovely. Exhaling, hands to heart again, just pressing the palms together, elbows left to right. Once more, inhale. And exhale. And this time we're going to draw the hands all the way down to the floor. So we're going to come into a little side stretch sequence. So we'll walk the hands all the way over to the left side of your mat. Left hand plants down alongside the hip, and we arc the right arm all the way up and over. Left arm follows, drawing a big rainbow overhead. We sweep the arms in an arc in front of you, all the way over to the left. Left hand down, right arm arcs all the way up. Left arm follows. Lovely. So just do a couple more of those, just getting into a nice rhythm. Sweeping the arms across the floor. And then coming up into a big rainbow. So trying to keep stable across your sit bone as we do that one more time. So we're getting a nice stretch through the back as we reach in front. And then a nice stretch through the sides of the body as we come up and over. Pause, right, left arm reaching overhead. Lovely, then we're going to come back the other way. So left arm leading this time. Lovely. We sweep the arms in front of you all the way over to the right. Left arm sweeps all the way up. Right arm follows. Lovely. So just get into a nice rhythm there. Just breathing steadily. Oh, and you might notice, again, like I have, that one side feels distinctly stiffer than the other. Let's do a couple more. So we're trailing the fingertips in front of us, drawing a big wide arc. And then arcing that left arm all the way up and over, drawing a big rainbow. Beautiful. Let's do this one more time. Lovely. Left arm comes all the way up and over. Pause with the right arm stretched overhead. Lovely. And then we'll reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Just wiggle some length up and out of your hips. Coming into a forward fold now. So fingertips finding the floor. Flex the feet so the toes point forwards. And just take your time. Maybe it's just a very small shift of the weight forward so we can keep our sit bones grounded. Some of you a little bit more open in the hips and open in the back might be able to extend the arms a little bit further. Bowing down, flexing the feet so we're keeping the ankles in good alignment, but also as we flex our feet, you might feel a little bit more engagement through your outer hip. Lovely. Walk the hands back towards you. Rebuild the spine. Hands come behind you and we'll stretch both legs out in front of you. Give the knees a little bit of a bounce there. Lovely. You're going to bend your left knee and just bring the foot just kind of level with the right calf, more or less. You can always adjust it in a moment. You're going to press into the hands, lift up through the chest. You might lift your chin, so we get a lovely opening through the chest. Option to begin to lift the hips. You're pressing into that left foot. Pointing the right toes towards the floor, avoid dropping the head back. Lovely. You can always keep the bottom on the floor. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly, chin to chest, lower the hips. Give the legs a little stretch. And then we'll recross left in front of right. And again, feet flexed, crossing mid-shin if you can, or one foot in front of the other. Yogi's choice. Beautiful. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's take a nice deep breath in as you reach up. This time as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. One hand comes in front, other hand settles behind, moving with the breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twisting to the left. So the fingertips just find the floor and then rise on up, all the way up. So you're moving, again, that lovely rotation through the upper back. Head might be looking just beyond that back shoulder, or you might keep the gaze in a more neutral position. Lovely. Inhale through center. And this time as you come over to the right, we're going to pause there. So you can bring the left hand in front of you. You can bring it to your knee, your thigh, if that's more comfortable. And just take care that you're not leaning into that back hand. And if you are, you can always come on to tented fingertips to help prop yourself forwards and up. Or wrap the hand around your low back. Take it away completely. And that really does require those deep postural muscles of the back to work a little bit more strongly. So lifting up and out of your sit bones. Lovely. Let's slowly unravel, come back through center. Inhale, gather the arms up. Opposite way now, so coming round to the left. So fingertips might find the floor, or you can bring the right hand to opposite knee or thigh. Other hand, either you might be on those little spider fingers, or hand might wrap behind you. So we're trying to keep the body propped forwards and up there. Lovely. And again, you might notice those kind of slight asymmetries within each body. Lovely. Let's come back through center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, ready for that little forward fold. So as you bring the fingertips down in front of you, you might need to just walk your bottom away from your shins a little bit, giving yourself some more space. Flex the feet, so toes point forwards, and then we melt forwards. And I've really noticed that when I flex my feet quite strongly, I can really feel more activity in my outer hip. So not only is it keeping my ankles safe, my knees safe, it's kind of deepening that sensation in the outer hip, helping me stretch out those muscles there. Lovely. Let's walk the hands back. And again, we'll take the hands behind you, stretch the legs out, give them a little bounce. So this time it's left leg straight, right foot just alongside your left shin or knee, whatever works there. I'm going to turn my fingertips out slightly. My shoulders are a bit tight. Press into your hands, really get that sense of opening up through the chest. Chin might lift a little bit. Option to stay there or begin to lift the hips. So you're pressing into the sole of that right foot, pointing the left toes down. Keep the chin tucked in slightly so the neck stays nice and long. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly we'll lower down. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. And then bend the knees so you can come round onto all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips there. So if you need to give your wrists a little bit of a shake after that upward plank, feel free. Hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips there. Pause in that lovely tabletop for a moment. So pressing into your hands, just feel that you're not disappearing into your shoulders. Shoulders are tight. Take your hands a little wider apart there on the mat. Ready for that lovely cat-cow. Beautiful one to work the spine, open the chest. So inhale, belly drops. Tailbone lifts, heart pulls forward. Chin lifts just a little. And then exhale that lovely counter stretch as you round up like an angry cat. Closing the eyes now as you just roll with the breath. Keep pressing into your hands as you inhale. So again, neck stays long. We're not collapsing in the shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to continue with that, but just tuck your toes under and press into the balls of the feet. So you're just beginning to enliven the feet a little bit, our foundations, before we come into any standing postures. Let's do that once more. So inhaling, head and heart come forwards, and exhale to round. So option to do a few more rounds of that. If you want to do a little bit of an add-on, again, building up a little bit of strength, just take your hands forwards, ever so slightly, a little bit forwards of the shoulders. Lovely. Helps with alignment. So as you inhale, we're going to dip the belly, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, we're going to straighten the legs, lift the knees, and come into a plank pose. Bottom nice and low, shoulders over wrist. wrists. Inhale as you drop to the knees. Arch the back, look forwards. Exhale, we shoot the heels back, coming into plank. Whoosh. Twice more, inhale. That's too much, we keep the knees on the floor. And exhale, so just make sure your bottom's not lifted up there. You might need to adjust the position of your hands. Once more, inhale. And exhale, lovely. So if you're with me in plank, we're going to pause in plank. Come and join us if you wish. If not, just stay on all fours. And if you're in plank, you think about pressing into your hands. So you can just doming up through the upper back. So spreading the shoulder blades apart, firming up through the belly. Let's take one more round of breath there. Breathing in, pressing into your hands. Breathing out, firing out through the heels. Lovely. And then we'll drop to the knees, flattening the feet. Sit back into a child pose, maybe propping yourself up on your elbows, just so you can give the wrists a little cooling there. It's quite hard work for the wrists. And then stretch out through the arms, maybe coming up onto tented fingertips again if you're feeling a little bit more energetic there. And we'll just settle into a couple of breaths of child pose, breathing into the whole expanse of the back body now. So really try and bring that breath into the lower back, the middle back, the sides of the ribs there. Beautiful. And then we'll plant the hands down, keeping the hands where they are, coming back onto all fours, tuck the toes under. And if you're ready, we'll just lift the hips into a downward facing dog. First down dog today. If you want to stay on all fours, feel free. And start that little pedal, so when we get into that first downward dog of the day, it's kind of how does that feel? Stretching out through the backs of the legs as you bend one knee and then the other. Have a little playfulness there, a little softness in our downward dogs. Beautiful. And then if you're taking your dog for a little walk or come to stillness, let's lift up the heels. So you're coming onto the balls of the feet, take an inhale. And as you exhale, try and shift the weight back as you stretch the heels back behind you. Let's do that once more. So inhale, weight shifts forwards a little bit as you rise up. And exhale. Pause and now pop a bend in the knees, so the heels might be nowhere near the floor. Pop a bend in the knees and really try and press your rib cage back towards your thighs. Pressing your hands forwards and down. And really keep the hips drawing up and back. The legs might begin to straighten a little bit, but try and keep that lovely length through the side and the back of the body. Beautiful. So let's shift the weight into the left foot. Take the right leg up and back, turning the toes out to the right slightly so you get a nice opening through the hip. Try and keep the weight even across the hands as you take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, step forward, look forwards, bringing that right foot between the hands. Help it up if it doesn't get there, and we'll drop the back knee. Lovely. So let's open up through the chest a little bit, open up through these shoulders. Left hand stays on the floor. So right arm, as you inhale, we're going to circle it all the way forwards and up, and reach back, maybe look back. And as you exhale, we again draw that big rainbow all the way back down, fingertips finding the floor. So inhale to open up through the chest, reach back. So arm is just level with the shoulder. And exhale, fingertips finding the floor. Lovely. Let's do that once more. Inhale. So you might be looking back if the neck feels okay. And exhale. We're going to bring the hands down. Lovely. And this time as you inhale, press into that front foot and we'll rise up into a lovely low lunge, reaching the arms up. If you can, bringing the hands together above you and drawing the thumbs down to your heart. Beautiful. Keeping the palms together. We're going to arrow the arms forwards. Lovely. Thumbs up towards the ceiling there. So right arm, same arm as knee. As you inhale, we're going to open the arm out, looking back. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands together. If you can't bring the palms together, then just have them close enough. Lovely. And then left arm reaching back. Inhale, keep the hip points pointing forwards. Exhale. Same again, just with the right arm. Inhale, pause. So get that lovely sense of drawing the back of the hands back, opening up through the chest. Body stays where it is, but we bring the hands back to the heart, a little bit of balance, ooh, wibbly wobbly. We'll shift the weight forward, hooking left elbow over the thigh. Just turn the fingertips forwards, top elbow pointed up towards the ceiling. You can look up as you press the palms together and try and lift yourself up and out of that front thigh, so you're not collapsing there. Beautiful. Option to take the gaze down for stability as you pick up the back knee. Lovely. Final option, separate the arms. Reaching that right arm up, left arm reaching down. Beautiful. If you've got the arms apart, we'll come back the way we came, bringing the hands together. And then we'll all bring the hands down, frame that front foot, pick up the back knee, and we'll step back into plank or all fours, yogi's choice. Press into your hands, dome up between the shoulder blades, take an inhale. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down, flatten the feet as you come down onto your belly. Lovely. So we're going to reach the arms back behind you and interlace the hands. And we'll start to draw the knuckles back. So you might keep your forehead on the floor, just tugging the knuckles back, or let that lift the chest, keeping the gaze down towards the floor, coming into a little half locust there. Keep with the breath, keep lifting the knuckles back. You might be resting on your low back. You might be able to lift them up a little bit. Take one more inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Bring the hands alongside the shoulders. Push up onto all fours. And from there again, take a little child pose. Again, you might want to give the wrists a little circle there. And then we'll try that on the other leg. So if you don't want to do a locust pose today, you can always stay in crocodile with your forehead on the floor, reaching the arms out in front of you, coming up onto all fours. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, toes tuck, hips lift, downward facing dog. Again, you can add that little pedal, maybe a little shake of the head. And then see if you can, again, just settle into stillness for a breath or two. Hips drawing up and back, rib cage pressing to thighs, softness in the knees if you need to. Lovely. And then shifting the weight to right foot, left leg lifts this time, turning the toes out ever so slightly, a little bit of hip opener. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, step or help that foot forwards, and we'll drop the back knee. Lovely. So this time it's going to be the left arm moving, so right hand stays on the floor. As you inhale, reach that left arm forwards and up, and then reaching back, thumb up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, big rainbow all the way back down. So really opening the shoulders this morning. And again, inhale. Reach back, look back. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Lovely. Last time. Ooh, all the way up. And then all the way down. Lovely. Pressing into that front foot. Both arms lift up this time. It's that lovely low lunge. Just make sure that you're not pushing your chest overly forwards and overarching the back. So soften the front body. And then if you can, palms touch above the head. And then we draw the thumbs down to the heart. Beautiful. So arrow the arms forwards. If you can keep the palms together, feel free. If the shoulders are too tight, just separate them slightly. Left arm leading this time. Inhale as you reach that left arm back. So right arm stays where it is. Hips stay center. Exhale as you bring the palms together. Lovely, right arm leading this time. Ooh, lovely opening through the chest. So this time left arm opens and we pause. So back of the hands, pull back a little bit, opening up through the chest. Keep the body where it is as you bring the hands together at the heart. Shift the weight forwards, hooking elbow over thigh. And then just point the fingertips forwards. Press your palms together, try and lift yourself up and away from that underneath thigh there, that left thigh. You can look up towards the ceiling, or if you want a little bit more, I'm going to take the gaze down as I tuck my back foot under and lift the right knee. Option to separate the arms, last little bit. Beautiful. If you've got the arms separated, we're coming back the way we came, so bringing the hands together. We'll all bring the hands down to frame that front foot. Pick up the back knee if you've not already done so, and we'll fire that left leg back into plank, all coming onto all fours. Press into your hands, dome up through the upper back, take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower yourself down, knees might come down first. Beautiful, flattening the feet. Let's reach both arms back behind you. So again, interlacing the hands. Pull the knuckles back. So you might just rest your hands on your bottom and keep the head resting on the floor. That's still a lovely shoulder opener. Or lift the chest, keeping the gaze down towards the floor. You might lift the arms away from the low back. Last little bit, you might lift both legs. You're balanced across the front of the pelvis there. Point the toes, reach the legs back. See if you can lift up a little higher. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower the legs, make a little platform for your head, resting one hand on top of the other. Flip the feet up towards the ceiling and just have a little windscreen wiper of the legs side to side. Just release the low back. Oh, I can really feel that across my shoulders. It's such a good one, Locust, for shoulders. Lovely. And then we'll stretch both legs back behind you, finding the floor. Hands alongside the shoulders as you push onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And from that downward dog, have a little walk forwards now. Walking your feet towards your hands, so we all end up in a lovely forward fold, generous bend in the knees. If you want to cradle your elbows today and have a little sway side to side, feel free to do so. Trying to move that from the waist rather than let the elbows pull you round. Lovely, initiate that from your waist. And then if you're cradling your elbows, let go, let the arms dangle, keep the chin tucked in towards your chest as you slowly, slowly roll up. We've been on the floor a while, so take your time. Head comes up last, let me just adjust that. Beautiful, and then just take a couple of breaths. Getting used to standing upright. Lovely. So a little softness in the knees now. And again, a lovely one just to stretch out through the side of the body, but also coming through the spine into a forward fold. So coming down as far as you need to. You can always just come down halfway and rest your hands on your thighs if your back feels a little tight. So we're going to sweep the right arm all the way up, coming into a side bend first. So reach that right arm all the way over, and then keep reaching that right arm across on the diagonal and come all the way down into a forward fold. Let the arms dangle, chin to chest. Roll your way up, rebuild the spine. Shoulders slide away from the ears, chin lifts, left arm lifts, inhale. Exhale as you come into that side stretch and then come all the way down into that forward fold. Just let yourself release. Press into the feet, chin to chest, roll your way up. Just imagine you're rebuilding your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. One more each way. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, coming into that side stretch first of all, and then we reach across on the diagonal all the way down into that forward fold. Let the body hang. Roll your way up. Beautiful. Last time, left arm. Exhale to stretch over, and then still kind of diagonal stretch. You get a lovely stretch out through those deep diagonal muscles of the back. Lovely, rolling your way up to stand. Beautiful. And this time we'll loop the shoulders down away from the ears, press into the feet, coming into that mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, let's come down into a forward fold. Taking the arms in front or out to the side, space permitted. Lifting up halfway, fingertips to floor, shins or thighs. Really think about lengthening through the spine, firm up through the belly. Exhale as you fold. Deep knee bend, root to rise, all the way up, reaching up towards the sky. Hands to heart, exhale, lovely. One more, bend the knees, inhale, so really come down to come up. And then exhale, I'm just going to bring the hands down in front of me, space is a little bit confined up against my bookcase, but you can take them out to the side. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale as you fold all the way down, bend the knees, rise up. We're going to add on this next time. Hands to heart, exhale, here we go. Deep knee bend. Inhale, so press the floor away, then grow really tall. Exhaling all the way down, last half sun salute, building up a little bit of heat in the body. Halfway lift, inhale. And this time as you exhale, we'll plant the hands and step back into your downward facing dog. Lovely, pause there for a breath. You maybe want to move, maybe lift and sink the heels, choice is yours, or linger in stillness, beautiful. Look forwards, and as you inhale, roll forwards to plank, shoulders above wrists. Exhale to lower, knees might come down first, beautiful. Interlace the hands behind you, draw the knuckles back, lift the chest, option to lift the legs. Coming into that little hovering locust, taking inhale. See if you can lift a little higher. Exhale to lower. Hands underneath the shoulders, push up onto all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Shift the weight into your left foot Right leg lifting as you inhale. Exhale, step or help it forwards between your hands, drop the back knee. Beautiful. I'm going to keep the toes tucked under on that back foot, but your choice is you can always flatten the feet. Sweeping the arms up as you inhale. Keep the fingers spread nice and wide as you exhale, deep catches of the arms. So we're drawing the elbows down, roughly level with the shoulders, palms facing forwards. Now you can stay there, just drawing the tips of the elbows back, or begin to lift the chest, lift the chin, coming into a little tiny back bend. So you're looking up. Beautiful. Wherever we are, we'll all take the arms up towards the ceiling. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the inside of that front foot, inside of the front foot. Pick up the back knee and turn to the long edge of your mat. Don't worry if you're not facing me, my voice will lead you there. Lovely, long edge of the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. Now bend the left knee, just shift your hips and your weight over to the left. Nice stretch in the right inner thigh. Inhale to center. Exhale, opposite side, right knee bends. Shift the weight towards the right. Let's do one more each way. So if you don't want to bring your hands onto the floor, just bring them onto your thighs there. You can still get that nice stretch. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to center when you bend that right knee. Turn your toes out, your heels in slightly. You might want to slightly shorten your stance. Bring your hands to your knees and roll your way up into a horse or goddess pose. Remember, we're not leaning forwards. We've got the head above the heart, heart above the hips. Straightening the legs, take the arms up and out on the diagonal, power pose called a star pose. You maybe lift the chin, lift and open through the heart, reach out, take up as much space as you can as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, hands come to knees, coming back down into horse. Inhale, reaching up and out on the diagonal. Beautiful one, star pose. Exhaling, hands to knees. Sending the knees out towards the little toes, just once more. Inhale. Really open up and take so much space. Lovely. This time as you exhale, we'll keep the hands on the knees. Beautiful. So we're going to bend, keeping the knees bent. We're going to dip your right shoulder forwards and look to the left. Just trying to press that right knee away. Come back to center. And then roll the left shoulder forwards. Look to the right. Add the breath. Inhale to center. Exhale, pressing that right shoulder forwards, pressing the right knee away. Inhale to center. Exhaling, other side. Let's come all the way to center. Inhaling, rising up into your star pose one last time. Exhaling, adjust the feet, right foot forwards, left heel slides away, coming into your warrior two. So we've got our right foot pointing forwards in our warrior two. Beautiful. If you can see yourself on your camera, just make sure you're not leaning forwards there. Beautiful. Turning the palms up, straightening the legs. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhaling, hands come to heart as you deeply bend that front knee back into our warrior two legs. Arrow the arms up, straighten the legs. Inhale. Palms down, looking over that front arm as you exhale. Lovely. Palms up. Inhale one more time, straightening the legs, so push the floor away. Exhale, hands coming down to heart. Front knee deeply bends. Beautiful. Inhaling up. Exhaling, looking over that front arm. Beautiful. This time, palms lift. Inhale, straightening that both legs. And this time as you exhale, drop the left arm and reach that right arm all the way up and back. So we've got a lovely reverse triangle. So front knee is straight now. We're opening up through the front of the hip. Take one more inhale as you arc the body back. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the front knee and windmill the hands all the way down, just pivoting on that back heel. So all 10 toes face forwards. Reaching that right arm up, take a nice deep twist as you inhale, open up through the chest, and as you exhale, hands come down. Beautiful. Going to step back into your downward dog. Beautiful. Option to take a child pose, have a little rest, or do a final flow with me. Inhaling, rolling the body forwards to plank. If you want to rest, have a rest. Exhale, shift the weight forwards and down. Beautiful, flatten the feet, interlace the hands. Inhale as you lift the chest, maybe lifting the legs into that lovely locust. Exhale as you lower. Hands underneath the shoulders, push up onto all fours. If you want to have a little rest in child pose, feel free. And join us when you're ready in a downward facing dog. I'm just going to turn onto the other side of my mat. So I'm on the right leg for you. Beautiful. So from our downward dog, this time we're going to take our left leg all the way up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, step the left foot forwards. Do that same sequence. So we're going to drop the back knee. I'm going to keep the toes tucked, yogi's choice. Arms lift up, take an inhale. Exhale, we kick that cactus. So we draw the elbows down, shoulder blades slide down the back, palms forwards. Option again, just to stay there, just drawing the tips of the elbows back. Or we begin to lift the chest, lift the chin, coming into a little back bend. Choice is yours. Arrow the arms up, coming in back into that lovely low lunge. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hands come to the inside of the front foot. Pick up the back knee and take that turn to the long edge of your mat. Now options here, as we do that little shift of the weight from side to side, hands underneath the shoulders, we bend one knee and shift the weight over that bent leg. Inhaling to center, exhaling, shifting sides. Option to stay there, or if you want a little bit more, take the hands behind you, interlace the hands, and let the arms drop forwards, little finger edge of the hand coming forwards. Inhale, exhale, you shift the weight to one side. Inhale, lift the hips to center. Exhale to the other. Let's do one more each way. So if you've got your arms lifted, it's much harder work for the legs. Lovely. So when you've done that last one, if you've got your arms lifted, bring the hands down to your lower back, and then we'll all release the fingertips to the floor for stability. As you turn the heels in, toes out, bending the knees, walk your way up into that goddess or horse pose. Beautiful, lovely. You might need to adjust the position of your legs if you feel that you're falling back. Shorten your stance. Beautiful. Let's come into that delicious star pose again. Inhale. Stretch out nice and wide. Exhale as you bring the hands down to the knees. Try and keep the body upright. Inhale. Reach up so the chest might lift, chin might lift a little bit. Exhale. Beautiful. Last time. Inhale. A little bit more flow now with the breath. Now we know what's coming. Exhale, hands to heart, hands to knees, sorry. So ready for that little shoulder dip. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, right shoulder rolls in. We look to the left. Inhale to center. Exhaling, changing sides. So as you roll that shoulder in, you're trying to press the knee away from you. One more each way. Just getting a nice stretch out through the inner thigh. Whoa. Last time, left shoulder rolling in. We'll come back to center. Reaching the arms up, straightening the legs into that star pose. And then this time we'll turn your left foot forwards. Right heel slides away from you as we come into our warrior two on the opposite way. So we've got our left knee bent, left foot pointing forwards. Beautiful. Turning the palms up, straightening both legs. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands draw to the heart. We bend that front knee, trying again to keep the body nice and upright. Just sink into the legs. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms down. We look over the left fingertips, pressing into the outside edge of that back foot. Palms up. Inhale, one more. Exhale, so sink deep into that front knee, but keep that connection through the outside edge of your right foot. Inhale up. Last time into that warrior two, so looking beyond your left fingertips. Beautiful. This time we'll take the arms up. Inhale. And as you exhale, we'll release the right arm and stretch that left arm all the way back. So legs are straight. We're coming into that lovely reverse triangle. Beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Take one more inhale. This time as you exhale, take your time as you bend the front knee, windmilling the hands down. Framing that front foot, pick up the back heel. And as you inhale, this time it's left arm lift. So we turn towards the front knee. Beautiful, bringing the hands down. Let's step back into our downward facing dog. From your downward dog, widen your feet, mat width or thereabouts. So as you drop down onto our knees, we're keeping our knees, again, mat width or thereabouts. Big toes touch. Ease your hips back towards your heels. Maybe walk the arms forwards, have a little rock of the hips as you ease your way down. It's that lovely wide-kneed child pose. If that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, then you can always bring the knees a little closer or come up to seated. And while we're there in that lovely pose, a little bit of space in the hips, we'll do a final little stretch for the shoulders if you wish. So we'll pick up one arm, doesn't matter which arm, and feed it underneath the other. So you're turning your gaze underneath that straight arm, trying to lift that armpit up towards the ceiling there. Take a breath or two there. And then just change sides. Where's the time gone this morning? Blown by. Goodness me. Beautiful. And we're swapping sides. A couple of breaths on the other side. Oh, that feels nice this morning. And then we'll feed both arms back out in front of you. Slowly, slowly walking the hands back towards you. And we'll draw the knees together so you can pop your hips to one side and swish the legs out in front of you. Let me just adjust the camera. So legs straight out in front of you. You can give the knees a little bit of a bounce there. That's it. Beautiful. And then a little bend in the knees, making sure you're sitting right up on your sit bones there. So nice long spine. Take an inhale as you sweep both arms up. And as you exhale, time to soften now. So release the body forwards and down into that forward fold. So the knees might be really generously bent. The body might be a long way away from your thighs. It really doesn't matter. Let's get that sense of allowing the body to yield. Forward folds are said to be really calming and settling for the mind and the body. So just let go of any sense of forcing or holding there. Lovely. And slowly, slowly, let's roll our way up. Come round to face you. So I'm going to take your left leg out to the side and we'll bring that right heel in to the groin there. Beautiful. Left hand just resting on your shin or your thigh. One more side stretch, reaching that right arm up and just slide your way down and over that left leg. So if you're feeling that you want a real kind of support there, if that's feeling really uncomfortable, you can always wrap your top arm behind you. You can always bend that underneath arm, bringing the left elbow to rest somewhere on the leg and even just rest your head in your hand there for a little bit of extra support. If you want that additional stretch, you might be able to take hold of your big toe and stretch that top arm overhead. So something for everyone, depending on energy levels. Beautiful. Let's release and come all the way up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, I'm going to take a twist to the right. So keep the left toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a little twist. Lovely. Turning back through center. Inhale. Taking the spine again through that range of movements as we come into a forward fold. Flex the left foot up towards the ceiling. Keep the sit bones grounded as you yield the body forward. So we tend to want to lift that left buttock off the floor. So you might come not down, you might not come quite so far forwards. Lovely. All the way up. And we're going to bend, if you can, that left knee. Just bringing the shin behind you, planting the right hand just by your right hip, reaching that left arm up on the diagonal. Option to come into a final little back bend, push the hips up, look towards that right hand as you press the hips forward. So we get a little back bend. Lovely, and then hips come down, arm sweeps in front of face. Hands come down so you can just change sides. And my cat just wailed, it scared the bejesus out of me. Taking the left heel in and stretch the right leg out. Hello, Milu. The ghosties come and get you. So coming into that little side stretch, so right hand on right shin or thigh, left arm reaches up, and we come over into that lovely side stretch of choice. You want the lower option, you take the gaze down, wrap the left hand behind you. You might even rest your right elbow on your thigh, bending the elbow there so you can rest your head on your hand, or you might catch hold of your big toe and stretch that top arm overhead. Lovely. Beautiful. Inhale to come up, and as you exhale, we'll take a little twist to the left, stroking furry friends if you've got one, or I'll stroke mine for yours. Lovely. We'll come back to center. Take an inhale. Coming into that forward fold. So really flex the right foot. Keep the toes up towards the ceiling. Keep the sit bones grounded as you come down. Hey, Mia, you come to join us. You come to disrupt the last bit. Lovely. And then rolling your way up. And again, you can always keep that leg outstretched or bend your right knee now. So you're just tucking the shin behind you. Left hand by the hip. And we'll reach the right arm up on the diagonal. Option to push the hips all the way up. So you're looking towards your left hand there. Lovely. Slowly, slowly lower yourself down. Sweep the legs out in front of you. Give them a little bit of a shake. And then we'll bend the knees and come to lie down on your back. Very friends committing. So easing your way down onto your back. Stretch out your legs, reach both arms back behind you. Find that beautiful axial stretch again. Lovely. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Just settle there, drawing that right knee in towards your chest. Lovely. An option to then extend right leg up towards the ceiling. If that's a little bit too much, you can always bend the underneath knee and plant the left foot on the floor. Lovely. Thank you. I really don't want to wash at this stage of my yoga class, though. You can save that for later. So flexing the right foot, drawing it towards you. And then slowly, slowly releasing, coming back to that full body stretch. Reaching the arms back, stretching out through the legs, and then bringing the left knee in towards the chest now. So just pause there for a moment, getting that nice stretch up through the lower back. And then we'll come into a little hamstring stretch, so just holding on around the back of the leg, taking the left leg up towards the ceiling. Any pulling on the back, you can always rebend the right knee. Bring the foot to the floor. Little flex of the foot. Legs nice and warm now, so just stretching them out after all those standing postures. Lovely. And then lower the foot to the floor. And if there's anything else you need to do, if you want to have a little twist, come back to that full body stretch, feel free. And if you've got time to just finish the class with a little bit of quietness, settling the body down into a comfortable position. It might be outstretched. It might be, as we began, with your feet on the floor and your inner knees resting against each other. Take a moment now. As you allow the body just to begin to absorb and assimilate the effects of the practice. Just checking in again, as you did at the beginning, with how you're feeling. I sometimes find when I've moved, if I was feeling a little bit less than energetic at the beginning of the practice, I might feel a little bit more energized at the end. It invariably helps to lift my mood if I was feeling a little bit flat when I started practice. So hopefully you too will notice there have been some positive effects of moving your body in a mindful way, in synchronicity with your breath for the last hour. And then we just allow the body to settle. We allow the breath to settle. And we allow the mind to simply focus on the rhythm of your breath. So if you can, allowing the body to rest in stillness. resisting the urge to fidget or to interfere with the pace and the rhythm of your natural breath. And just reminding ourselves of those positive words that we can carry forwards with us in the coming days and weeks. Respair, which means to find fresh hope and a recovery from despondency. And recipiscence, the return to a better state of mind. So just letting those two words just linger. Fresh hope and a return to a better state of mind. And just reminding yourself of that over the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week, coming back to those, let those fill you with a little sense of positivity and hopefulness. And so when you're ready, just beginning to deepen and lengthen the breath now. Oh, we could all do with that, couldn't we? A return to a better state of mind, wouldn't that be nice? And leaving the despondency behind us. So you might want to come back to that beautiful full body stretch. And that pose, this kind of opening through the body, has been shown that it helps to lift our mood. All of those lovely poses that we were doing, that kind of star pose, that opening up. When we're feeling low, we tend to kind of fold in on ourselves. So really lovely for our minds and our bodies to open up. So enjoy a moment in that full body stretch before you gently bring the knees back in towards your chest one at a time. And you might want to have a little roll around there, massaging away any tension from your back, around your hips. And then rolling onto your right side or your left side, wherever the space, wherever feels the most comfortable, and then coming to join my fairy friend and I in a comfortable seated posture. You see all these other yogi online instructors, or Joe Wicks doesn't have a cat trying to wash him or her in the middle of a practice. The things we can tend with. So sitting up nice and tall. Think about lifting up and out of your hips, whatever that means for you, just creating a little bit of space through the sides of the body. Let's take one more glorious deep inhale together as you sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale and draw the hands down to the heart, the chin dropping to chest, we wish each other a feeling of respair and recipiscence over the coming weeks ahead of us. And namaste. Thank you very much for joining Milo and I today. Hey, Niels? Honestly, things I have to put up with.